Love and Light. I'm Jessica with Moore's Choice. Today I want to come on and talk about a specific herb called Red Clover. It has been a little moment since we actually done a video, but I feel like some more is to come, so don't get discouraged, everyone. We have been busy, and with all that busyness I have neglected videos. Not the herbs, but some videos. So I do want to come on today and talk about red clover and some of the benefits that it has. Who are the individuals that are greater to be able to consume this and see more of the benefits versus someone who may not see as many benefits because it's not just meant for you. So again, stay tuned. Just with Moore's Choice, and we are going to talk about red clover. So, red clover, everyone. Red clover is a wonderful herb. It kind of mimics tobacco early on in the earlier years before my time, generations, many moons ago. People use this as a smoking herb. You can still use it as a smoking herb. It does have a aroma of like tobacco. Now this is cut, broke down, sifted into this particular texture of a loose leaf. We don't currently have this in a pre-packed tea bag, or I don't even think I have it in a tea blend. I do have it in part of one of our detox teas, however. But this particular herb is great for many reasons. It does help with the respiratory system. It helps alleviate a lot of that mucus, the inflammation that it holds within the body. A lot of times when we look at herbs, we want to know what minerals does it has. For us here at Moore's Choice, we tend to go off mineral base for each individualized person, as opposed to saying, okay, well this is, you want something for the respiratory, well this will get you for it. Or if you want something for inflammation, this is great for that. Or high cholesterol, we're not just going to give you certain things. We want to know, where you sit at in your season, what day you were born, what month you were born, so that way you can get the full benefits of the minerals that you actually lack. And that's what's important, to balance the pH of the body so that you can consume the right minerals for your specific body, for your specific season in which you were born, as well as to balance the pH. We don't need a full 100% alkaline body, and we don't need a whole acid body. We need balance. That's what Mayat gives us. So inside that balance, we tend to cater towards minerals. So even when we think about certain foods that we're consuming, always go with minerals. I tell a lot of people all the time, food is the desire of certain things. If we just look at what we're needing, which is the minerals of it, now we can consume properly. So for red clover, there are many beneficial minerals inside of this. If you see on here, it says high blood pressure, anti-inflammatory. Well, it has a lot of different properties to it that can help alleviate the body. I do tend to put different stickers on there for certain things. I don't put all of them because then the whole jars will be covered with a lot of different things. Just ask the question. And then we also have an herbal book that you can look at for more information if we're busy, or you don't want to be bothered with talking to us, because we can talk in this shop. I'm just saying, y'all know. So red clover, like I said, a lot of times people use it for respiratory issues. I tend to see that it does variation of different benefits for different people. If you're inside of the season where it's spring, summer, so we're inside of spring, summer season, which is majority of this upper region of the body for those of you who are born within the spring and summer. This is your region, your upper respiratory, your upper head, your pituitary, the cerebellum, the eyes, the nose, your lungs. This is your region of the body, okay? So inside that spring, summer season, we need to make sure we're kind of consuming red clover. Red clover is good for those who are Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, and Virgo. And Virgo, not every Virgo this will be beneficial for. It may help more so in the early season of Virgo versus the latter season of Virgo. And I'll explain why. So with red clover, like I said, it does have anti-inflammatory properties. It also has antioxidants in there. When we think about like cancer fighting abilities, let's let your natural antibodies produce better. Let's allow the organs and everything to kind of get the cellular structure back functioning, which is what red clover helps to do with. It's not a cure-all. It's not something that's going to be like, I'm going to just take this and it's going to cure me of everything. No, you still have to implement healthy eating habits. You still have to make sure, again, the pH of the body is balanced, as well as making sure we consume the right minerals. And I continue to say minerals, so let me tell you some of the minerals that red clover have. So inside of red clover, a few of the minerals are calcium, magnesium, potassium, zinc, silica, vitamin A, vitamin B2, B3, vitamin C, vitamin E, and it does have some iron. It is not something that if you're iron deficient or anemic, that is going to give you all the iron you need. No, it does have iron, but it's not a strong amount of iron. It has more calcium and potassium in it and vitamin C in it than anything else. And then the magnesium, the zinc, and the iron are a bit of on the latter part of how much the mineral it actually has inside of this. So the red clover, like I said, it is amazing with the antioxidants, the inflammation that it holds when it comes to alleviating a lot of that inflammation out the body. So it does help with muscle pains, joint pains, mild muscle and joint pains. It's not going to be able to cure all of the pain, but it does help alleviate that mild muscle and joint pain. Another thing that it does have is it does help with menstruation symptoms. So again, when we're talking Virgo, we're inside of the digestive system, we're inside the gut health of the body for Virgos. So the digestive, your colon, all of those things is more of a Virgo symptom. So inside of that, we're saying for the women, your menstruation cycle, red clover does help with that. It helps alleviate the painful symptoms of what cramping and bloating would be. It also helps when it comes to easing the flow of your menstruation cycle. Again, it also helps with menopausal symptoms. Some of the similar reasons, but the estrogen, natural estrogen, it does help balance the estrogen inside the body. So that is why it will help with menopausal symptoms as well. One of the main things with red clover, again, most people tend to go with, is that it does help with respiratory issues, bronchitis, asthma, that indigestion, the mucus that it holds inside the respiratory, inside of the lungs. It helps alleviate that. I typically always say you want to do it as a tea because you're getting most of the benefits out of that. You'll steep it as a tea, drink it while it's warm. You can smoke it, but again, now we're going into biochemistry with it. So if you add heat to any herb, any one of these herbs, including red clover, now we're changing the substance of it. Now we're adding a chemical reaction to that particular herb. So it loses minerals and it changes the substance of what it actually is. Do I recommend you can smoke it? I would prefer you do it as a tea because I want you to get all the minerals. But for those of you who are smokers out there and you're like, well, you know, I might have lung cancer, or I have a lot of mucus buildup, or even if you're like a firefighter and you go and you got a lot of smoke buildup, doing this as a tea, yes. Smoking it, if you do tend to smoke the herb, I always say it's not something that you need to smoke on a continuous basis. Make sure you're using a natural leaf or even more of like an infuser when doing that. So you're just using less heat as possible. And it does help pull that mucus out. It does help with urination, so it's a natural diuretic as well. So you will urinate a little bit, okay? Some people tend to get a little bit of a drowsy effect, helps you with sleep. Again, very mild on the sleeping and drowsiness, okay? It does kind of help with high cholesterol, high blood pressure. Again, it's an anti-inflammatory, so we're working through that bloodstream, we're working the sugar levels, we're making sure that the nervous system, your lymphatic system is all getting kind of regulated. again, make sure we're doing more healthy eating habits, okay? So even with that, skin health, eczema, psoriasis, again, using it in a humidifier, bathing with it. I always say if you have sensitive skin, go ahead and use a cheesecloth, add this, let it soak inside your water, and then bathe in it. Don't just, throw the loose leaf herbs in there in your bath water thinking that it's not going to irritate you. If your skin is real irritated, it may, because it does have certain hair follicles on the particular herb itself where it can irritate skin. But it does help soothe eczema and psoriasis to the skin as well. I don't know. Oh, I do know. So with the red clover as well, for those of you that like I said, that spring, summer season, amazing for you. Virgo, you're sitting right there in the latter summer, early fall. So the latter summer Virgos, you will have more benefits than the Virgos that are more in the fall or season, because now we're getting more into different particular minerals that the body's needing. But again, that spring, summer, this should work very well for you in conjunction with a couple of other herbs. Red clover can go great with mullein, nettle leaf, marshmallow root, licorice root, elderflower, elderberry, hibiscus. It also can pair very well with chamomile as well. Those particular herbs can pair well with the red clover for more of our spring, summer individuals, because we're going more of the upper body, respiratory, lungs, eyes, brain, those cellular structures up in this type of the region is where we're coming from, okay? For those of you who are pregnant and or breastfeeding, red clover is not going to be that great for you. One of the main reasons, again, is because we're kind of coming out of that tobacco family. We don't want you to have that particular herb, ingesting it for such a pregnant person or someone who is breastfeeding. Now, if you do it as a tincture and or a cough syrup, children, amazing. Not long-term use if you're doing it as a tea for children. I don't recommend children doing the red clover if they are under 5 years of age. If you do it as a cough syrup, then you can do it under 5 years of age. I wouldn't recommend it under 2 years if it's a cough syrup, okay? Tinctures, again, when you're tincturing something, now we're putting an acid to it. Even if it's botanical, we're still adding, Everclear or some type of 99% alcohol proof, which I wouldn't recommend for children. And then also moderation for even adults, okay? We don't need to have all that acid. We still need to keep a balance inside the body. The pH is important. But children as a tea, not really recommended. If you're doing it as a cough syrup for children, yes. Especially if they have a lot of mucus buildup, I would definitely recommend to do it as a cough syrup. And then that also, again, is in moderation as well. I don't know, you guys. I feel like I've been just rambling on. But no, I do like red clover for a few different reasons. The taste palette, that's what I didn't tell you about. So the taste palette, it does have a slight earthy taste to it. If you add some star anise or even licorice root, it gives you much more of a nice black tea taste to it. If you don't add that and we're just doing red clover, I always say add a little agave. You can even do natural honey as long as you're not diabetic or your blood pressure is extremely high. I always tend to go with agave and or maple syrup or date syrup is amazing. Natural syrups, we want to get, again, organic, natural base. So date syrup, make sure it's coming straight from the date. There's no other additives to it. Straight date syrup. Can be used for anyone who has diabetes, high blood pressure, or high cholesterol. Agave, you can use that if you have high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes as well. Honey, as long as we're getting a raw, organic honey, I don't mind using honey at all. But if someone has diabetes, I do not recommend honey, okay? We don't want your sugar levels to elevate. We don't want you to have any spikes or anything like that. Even if it's raw honey, it still will kind of coagulate inside the bloodstream. We do not want that. So agave, maple syrup, or date syrup. But yeah, that is about it on the Red Clover, you guys. This is my first video doing, well, I ain't gonna say my first video. It's been a moment since I've done a video in regards to herbs. So I do want to say, you know, if I sound crazy, if I look crazy, I'm sorry. But I do want you to get some information on Red Clover. So for my spring and summer individuals, stop in, get you some Red Clover for that respiratory. We ain't always got to go with mullein, which everyone loves the mullein, but it does help again for our spring and summer on that mullein. But that Red Clover will also help as well for your respiratory. And if you have respiratory issues and you also have like high cholesterol, high blood pressure, again, also great. If you have joint pain, muscle pain, also great. If you are a woman and you are lacking a little estrogen, also great. Again, in moderation on that particular reason. So that is Red Clover. I'm Jessica with Moore's Choice. I'm at 828 Pass Road, Suite C in Gulfport, Mississippi, 39501. Definitely come in, stop, see what we got to offer, and just come get some more information.